Salutations everyone, this is Razor giving you guys another Overwatch video here today talking about the snipers. Everyone's favorite subclass of heroes to shit on. You have the Hanzo main memes and please switch off a Hanzo, oh don't be Widow, yada yada yada, oh you should only be this on offense, you should only be this on defense. And the backbone to that argument is they haven't seen good Hanzos or Widows, and they just love memes, and they think they know that the game has to be played a certain way. And I'm not even talking about, oh, the meta. People don't really seem to care about the meta much in Overwatch on the vast majority of levels of competition in this game. Because if they paid attention to the meta, Widow and Hanzo have always been a part of it. They've pretty much always been better hero choices than McCree. At least, after his first nerf. They've always been better than Junkrat, always been better than Symmetra. They've always been better than Reaper until, possibly this latest patch, which made Reaper very strong, and, maybe he's more useful now. We kind of have to wait and see what the metadata is going to look like on, pro team comps and things like that, because that patch is still fairly new. But, Widow and Hanzo have always been good characters. They've always been used by pro teams. We've seen teams use Hanzo as their solo main DPS source. Widow's doing very, very well. They are very situational. You're not going to, do great with, Widow on, some 2CP maps. You're not going to be doing great with Hanzo on, defending Numbani or things like that. They are very situational. The only way to get value out of Hanzo or Widow, and yes, I know Ana is a sniper, but she's a healer, and she can shoot faster than Hanzo or Widow can when it comes to pretty much guaranteed DPS, and has the Bionade and the Dart and all that good stuff. A lot more utility coming out of her, so the fact that she can quote-unquote snipe is not the main attribute of her kit, although that does make her the best at long-range healing. But the situational attributes of Hanzo and Widow are very, very prevalent. You aren't going to use them in very many cases. Either the team comp will require you to use certain characters, or the team that you're facing isn't going to be very good for a sniper because they have a diva that can just get in your face, or a Pharah that's crushing you and she's pocketed by Mercy, or things like that. And obviously there are many maps that are not very well situated for snipers. So Widow and Hanzo don't have a ton of opportunities to shine in the game, but there are quite a few very, very good options, very niche roles that they can fulfill. And I don't judge many people based off of the character choices, especially if it's Hanzo or Widow. Granted, I've never played with a good Hanzo or Widow before. I've fought a good Hanzo before. I was a Pharah, and he killed me like 4 times, and it's like, man, this Hanzo guy's really good. And, I've played really good Hanzo games. I've played really good Widow games, so I know it can be done. And I kind of wait for teammates to fail with their pick before I, start yelling at them in my own head. I don't send messages for people to swap or anything like that, because number one, they're not gonna listen, and number two, they might just tilt off the face of the earth. I don't know what randos are gonna do. That's just a risk that everybody has to take. So when it comes to using the snipers, everyone gets a lot of hate for it, and I'm not even like a Grandmaster Hanzo or something like that where I'm getting it constantly and I have to keep proving people wrong, and it kind of puts that pressure on you that you're gonna have to lead the team and get 4 gold medals for them to realize, guess what, your Widow, your Hanzo is really good. And there aren't very many good Widows or Hanzos out there throughout any level of play. And we're gonna go ahead and eliminate that Reinhardt threat after he got the Earth Shatter, get our ult out, which is very, very key in picking people off before they're able to come back and get this point here. So Widow is very, very good on attack Anubis. She's also very good on attack Gibraltar. Hanzo is very good at defense Hollywood. He's also good at attack Kings Row. Widow's also pretty good at attack on Kings Row. There's pretty much, unless you're playing with some insane good players with these characters, you're never going to want 2 snipers on a team. and everyone loves to insta-lock their DPS picks, so I don't often have very many chances to play almost any DPS hero, really, but especially Hanzo and Widow, because of, you know, just the needs of the team will outweigh my hopes to, you know, get, you know, a penta kill with Hanzo, or, you know, back-to-back-to-back headshots with Widow. You know, they're fun characters to play and rewarding, but they are definitely not very consistent, not super useful in very many situations or, you know, maps and team compositions where, like, okay, I need something that can, you know, do more close-up range, or, you know, I'm going to need something that can do sustained healing, or I'm going to have to, you know, throw in some extra defense to help the team. But every now and again, I do get the opportunity to show off my Hanzo and my Widow, and my win percentage with them are incredibly high. It's relatively high with all DPS heroes. My top 10 win percentages of the current season, or I think all seasons, out of the top 10, 9 of them are DPSs, but I don't get to pick them very often because I always have to fill for the team because everyone wants to insta-lock their DPS. And sometimes, yes, it is Hanzos and Widows, and they don't know what they're doing. They're picking them in wrong situations, either on the wrong map, or, you know, they're just not picking the right DPS for the situation. So yes, Hanzo and Widow are DPSs, and they should be treated as such as far as filling out your team comps, but often people will like criticize Widows for like not being on the point, but if I have a Widow on my team, I don't want her being on the point. I want her being in the back, getting key pickoffs. You know, when the Reinhardt turns around to block a Roadhog or something, I want that Widow getting that key headshot. I want the Hanzo hopping up to the high ground, getting that scatter arrow and finishing off a Zarya as soon as her bubble comes down, or something like that. Synergizing with the Graviton. You know, you can get a huge bang for your buck with Hanzo's ult. Obviously, everybody knows that, but if you don't have the communications, or, you know, you just don't have the combos that can go with that, you don't have someone, you don't have the Reinhardt Earth Shatter at the right spot, or the grab in the right spot, or, you know, timed correctly, because, you know, maybe they have a Zen trans or someone dropping the beat. But you can get huge swings in a team fight based off of Hanzo's ult and based off of Widow's sheer ability to just instantly get 2 pickoffs. And I don't need my Widow to get, you know, 40, 50, even 30 kills in a match. I just need her to get a couple of good key picks that can turn the swing of the fight. And Hanzo can do insane damage. You know, the scatter arrow is amazing. His ult is one of the fastest charging in the game, and that can often, you know, get quite a few kills or pull an enemy team off of a point, eliminate a Reinhardt, so there goes the shield, so your teammates can get something off of their ults and things of that nature. And shout out to that Mercy with that quick res. So that is not, that Grav combo is not going to win that team fight for them, and we're going to get the defense shutout here and the team kill. So Hanzo and Widow are very good characters. They've always been part of the meta. They've always been better than McCree, always been better than Junkrat, always been better than Symmetra, always been better than Bastion, always been better than Torb, but those characters don't get nearly the amount of hate. Obviously, you know, a lot of people, they do things for the memes, but if you play the characters right, you know, Hanzo shouldn't be on the point, Widow shouldn't be on the point. They should be getting kills. That's what they're there for. You shouldn't have too many snipers. You shouldn't have, you know, a Hanzo on, say, you know, on Ilios maybe. You know, Widow's going to be more useful there, but only in a couple of situations. You shouldn't have a Widow on defense on, you know, many maps. So as long as you use these characters correctly and you're good with them, that is also, you know, a key portion, you can make some huge impact frags and make some big plays, and at times carry those teams. So that's a 14-1 Widowmaker attack on Anubis and a 12-2 Hanzo defense on Hollywood. The perception of characters seems to matter way more than how those actual characters play out, and people perceive to see these two characters as bad when they're actually good, and they've always been that way. And the sooner some people can realize this and stop sending me messages to not be Hanzo and Widow and let me do my thing and win the game for them, and the sooner other Widows and Hanzos can not be bad, the better for all of us.